Hey everybody, here is your video showing how to work out the solutions for the homework, so use it if you need help. So we're going to go ahead and look at numbers 1 and 2, and sine and cosecant are reciprocals, so after we do number 1 it's going to make it a lot easier to do number 2. So we're graphing on the interval from negative 2 pi to 4 pi. So let's get that set up. Negative 2 pi over here, 2 pi over here, 4 pi over here. And because the sine graph has a period of 2 pi, what we're going to see is 3 full cycles. One full cycle, another full cycle, another full cycle. Okay, so let's also put a 1 and a negative 1 on the y-axis. And then let's break up each of these full cycles into 4 equal chunks. From here, start at 0, 0, so start at the middle, then you go to the top, to the middle, to the bottom, to the middle, to the top, to the middle, to the bottom, to the middle, and on the other side, we're at the middle, to the bottom, to the middle, to the top, to the middle. Okay, that gets your main points in place, and then you connect with a nice smooth curve, and there's your sine graph. Okay, for the cosecant graph, label your x-axis again, just like we did for the sine graph, going from negative 2 pi to positive 2 pi, and your 1 and your negative 1. And then break each of those regions into 4 equal chunks. Okay, now remember that everywhere the sine graph was 0, was at a height of 0, the cosecant graph has a vertical asymptote. So you can put those vertical asymptotes in place everywhere the sine graph was at a height of 0. So they are pi units apart. And then everywhere the sine graph was at a height of 1, the cosecant graph is also at a height of 1. So we have here, and here, and here. Everywhere the sine graph was at a height of negative 1, the cosecant graph is also at a height of negative 1. So that would be here, and here, and here. And then remember, we have U-shaped curves going up, alternating with U-shaped curves going down. And you're going to have 3 sets of them, because each period is 2 pi, and we're going for a width here. The entire width that we've just done is 6 pi. From negative 2 pi to positive 4 pi is 6 pi. So that's why we had 3 full cycles. Each full cycle has a width of 2 pi. Okay, now let's do the same kind of thing for numbers 3 and 4. Cosine. Here's negative 2 pi. Here's 2 pi. Here's 4 pi. Height of 1, height of negative 1. Split those intervals into 4 equal chunks. Cosine goes through the point 0, 1, so we start at the top. Top, middle, bottom, middle, top, middle, bottom, middle, top. And on the other side, top, middle, bottom, middle, top. Connect those with a nice smooth curve. It's kind of fun. Feel like you're on a roller coaster. So there's our cosine graph. And then sine, or secant, sorry, the reciprocal of cosine. Label everything. Split those intervals into 4 equal chunks. And everywhere that cosine had a 0, secant has a vertical asymptote. Everywhere that cosine had a 1, secant has a 1. Everywhere that cosine had a negative 1, secant has a negative 1. So we're alternating 1s and negative 1s, and then curves going up, curves going down. Repeat that over and over and over. starting at negative 2 pi and ending at positive 4 pi. Okay, there's your secant graph. Tangent. Going from negative 2 pi to 4 pi. Let's split it up. 4 equal chunks. When you're doing tangent, it's important to know where pi over 2 is because you have an asymptote there. So we go through 0, 0. We have an asymptote at pi over 2, then a 0, then an asymptote, then a 0, then an asymptote. Just keep doing that. Until you get to your endpoints. And then we have those curves that swoop up. So just draw as many of those as you can. How many of those will you have? So if you're going from negative 2 pi to 4 pi, that's a distance of 6 pi, total distance. The period of the tangent graph is 1 pi. So you should have 6 of those. And you can see, I forgot one. I forgot half a 1. You can see I have half a 1. Oops. Half a 1, a whole 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 1, half a 1. So 5 plus 2 halves, so there are 6 of them. And now we'll do cotangent. Negative 2 pi, 2 pi, 4 pi. Split those up into chunks. And everywhere that tangent had a 0, cotangent has an asymptote. So asymptote is 0. So this is key to remember. Cotangent, asymptote at 0. Once you get that in place, you're golden, as long as you remember that the curves go down. Asymptote at 0, curves go down. So asymptote, 0, asymptote, 0, asymptote, 0. Keep going. Asymptote, 0, asymptote, 0, asymptote. And then curves going down. How many will there be? Did you say 7? No, 6. 6 of them. Because once again, the width of this whole thing is 6 pi. The period of cotangent is pi. So we have 6 of them. There's your homework. Let me know if you have any questions.